keep hitting that red button, and I have no idea if I've like completely messed everybody up because I keep hitting it, so I'm sorry if I have. All right, I am reconvening us into general session, into our regular meeting. We entered into executive session to finish our discussion on those matters. Do I have any motions coming out of executive session? Ms. Snipes?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the contractual matter regarding district-wide social and emotional learning program pending an adjustment to the subscription language.
Do I have a second? Mr. Scully, do I have any discussion? Ms. Huddle?
I think it's really good that we try something, but I feel like we have this ESSER money that's going to run out, and we're jumping to use this program, and there's studies out there that are very inconclusive as to whether or not it works. The Office of Justice programs with the United States government funded a study, and they said that based on the students' perceptions, capturing kids' hearts did not enhance relationship bonds between and among students and teachers, increase students' social competencies, and reduce aggression and violence. However, based on staff perceptions, capturing kids' heart appeared to have a small but consistent positive impacts. And they went on to say for the archival record measures, the evidence was mixed regarding student attendance and discipline outcomes, although there was consistently no impacts of capturing kids' hearts on both ELA and math test scores. I know we have to spend this money, but I would much prefer to see us maybe scale down and do capturing kids' hearts maybe in one grade across our district or in one elementary school and compare it to the others before we jump in with both feet and spend this kind of money, and instead take this money and enhance our summer programs and after-school reading and teachers that want to get paid extra to tutor, to do every single thing we can to get our reading and our math scores up.
Does anyone else have anything? Mr. Satterfield?
Yes, Dr. Ross, I know you mentioned one time about how there was a committee that was assembled and did look at the various programs and packages that were offered. Could you share that briefly?
Yes, I just want to keep in mind as we speak to ESSER 3, there are many pots of ESSER 3. There's pots for learning loss, there's pots for air conditioning, and there's pots for cleaning materials, and there's pots for social emotional learning. We are using the funds for the pots for learning loss, for air. We need something under the social emotional piece, and so that's why we're offering this program here. Keep in mind, we're not saying and never have said that this would have an impact on ELA or math. We are asking for something to be preventative for the bullying, for the social emotional issues, the mental health issues. And I believe that the committee that you spoke of, they evaluated 14 organizations across the country. I trust that committee's opinion when they came back with capturing kids' hearts. We have a one-year opportunity, now less than 1 year, and I'd like to give our team an opportunity to put that on the ground for our students.
Anyone else? I want to say I've read some, feedback, probably the same study that Kathy just referenced, and I do share some concerns, which is one of the reasons why we have taken so long to approve this contract. This is not the first time this has been brought to us, and we are approving it contingent on removing automatic renewal clause so that we have the opportunity to see how it works in our district. And from what Dr. Ross has presented at the last several meetings and what we've heard from our team and from what I've seen in elementary schools, that, the impact of some of this training and how it impacts students. Because we're using ESSER dollars and it's not, I understand we have to use money and I don't want to just throw money away. And this is definitely one of those situations where hopefully they come through and it is as good as what our, the advocates are pushing for. You just never know. And one of the things that I have a problem with is when you lock yourself into long-term contracts that you can't get out of. And I think that we've all kind of come to a consensus, or if this motion passes, that's the consensus, is we have the opportunity to see where we are on this program. And I do appreciate the amount of time and effort that the district has put in for this. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. So, Mr. Hogan.
To kind of piggyback on it, I believe I've read some of the similar reviews and reports that Kathy's mentioned earlier. I know Ms. Barnhart shared a few with me a couple months ago. From me and my perspective, it does go above and beyond reading, writing, and arithmetic. That inside these schools, in my opinion, the biggest litmus test for success is how the kids' experiences are inside these schools. And can they say they left today with, having the opportunity to learn in a safe environment that catered to their needs? So with that, I'm on the same boat. I think a year worth of trial on it is something that we can look to see how impactful it is and see if it's something we look to continue.
Mr. Scully, did you have?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Hogan. And yeah, with programs such as this, you're right. You do never know how they're going to work. But the one thing that we do know is that the need exists in our district, and it's district-wide, not at just one school. And so I think it's, and any study that I've seen, the same study that y'all are referencing, at worst, there was no impact, but, that's the worst case. So if from 0 to, the only thing we're looking at is a degree of positive impact. And so, in an area where there is a definitive need for it. And I think to me, it's not a waste of money. It's a good use of resources, and it will help further the cause of what our mission is.
Ms. Huddle?
Just one other thing I'd like to point out. I asked Ms. Paul in our last meeting if we could rearrange the allocations of our ESSER plan, and she said yes. So we're not locked in to spending this money on SEL. It could be spent on other things. We could also reduce the amount. If you look at the studies and you even look at input from teachers, there's a lot of teachers that don't like this program. You can go out and look on Reddit, and a lot of them find it insulting if you read the comments. There's also comments that it's much more effective in elementary school age than in middle and high school. So, again, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying I think we would be much more effective use of the money, since we don't know the outcome. Instead of spending almost $500,000 on something we don't know that has mixed results, mixed reviews, let's scale it back and use the rest of the money for what we do know works. We know our teachers are great tutors, and we know our kids are struggling in math and English especially.
I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor of the program? All opposed? The motion carries 5-1. Do I have any other motions? Mr. Hogan?
I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn the
Nope.
meeting.
Nope, that's not what.
Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I had one more. I'd like to make the motion that the board approve the contractual matter regarding professional development services shown in Exhibit D.
No, a second. Ms. Snipes? Any discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? The motion carries 6-0. Do I have any more motions? Ms.
You
Snipes?
can take this one.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn at 9:53.
Do I have Mr. Hogan seconds? Any discussion? I kind of want to talk about this for a minute. I'm just kidding. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. We adjourn for the evening. Thank you.